Do you still have a few minutes for me? There's like two people said yes. Do you still have a few minutes for me, boys and girls? Yes? Okay. Well, I promise I'm not going to stay long here. Um, Although I have a lot of stories to tell, but I'm going to save them for next time. I have questions for you, but before I ask the question, I want to thank you all for coming to support our children today. I don't know about you, but I think they did a great job. They did a great job. So, let me ask you a question, because I've been listening carefully. I've been listening carefully to what you have said, so I kept quiet. I did not move. I listened. So, oh, you want to sit down over here? Come on. Come over here. All right. Okay. Anyway, lunch is not ready yet, so we can stay a few minutes here. Let me ask you guys. You guys ready? Talia, are you ready? Talia? I have a question for you. Who among you here have friends? Raise your hand. Do you have friends? Or a friend? Okay. Very good. Do you have a friend? What's his name? Carlton. All right. You do have friends. I have a lot of friends. I've met a lot of friends. And right now, after, let's see, many decades, there's this group that's been sending me messages, and then I was looking at the messages, and they were all my high school classmates. And they were saying that we're going to have a reunion this year. You know, you want to know when I graduated in high school? What year? You want to know when? Never mind. It's long, long, long time ago. So anyway, you said that you do have friends. Question is, do you know your friends? Yes? Do you know them by name? Do you know where they live? Do you know their family members? Do you know their birthdays? Do you know what kind of food they like to eat? Okay. All right. Do you know their favorite colors? Oh, good job, you guys. You do have friends. Now, how do you explain what a friend is, if you do have friends? It says the definition of a friend for most of us is, are you ready? Someone that we feel connected to, and who is there for you in some way. Did you hear that, Ildi? Did you hear that? You have a friend? What is a friend? Is someone that you're connected to. You want to play with, you want to share your toys with, and sometimes you want to share your food with. Just sometimes, not all the time. Right? Yes? That's right, Chael, that when you're in trouble, you can call them and they will come and help you, right? A friend is someone that you actually fight with. Is that correct? Yeah? Sometimes. I do have a friend. He was my roommate long time ago. College, we were roommates. When he got married, he asked me to be his best man. Then when I got married, I asked him to be my best man. And then we entered into what we call you want to become a pastor? And so we said, yes, let's go to become a pastor. And then they said, all right, you guys are pastors, we're going to ordain you. Is it ordain? You know what ordain is meaning? To set you apart. So we were ordained together. We were friends up to now. Our kids are friends. They sing together. Sometimes we meet. Sometimes you go to their house. Sometimes they go to our house. Sometimes we bike together. Actually, next week they're going to be here. I'm going to introduce my friend to you. All right? Anyway, here's what it says. There was an old proverb that goes like this. Are you ready? Listen to this carefully, guys. Listen carefully. Listen. It says, and I quote, "Tell me who your friends are, and I will tell you who you are." Let me repeat. This is an old proverb that says, "Tell me who your friends are, and I will tell you who you are." Let me ask you a question. Do you know who you are? Yes? Who are you? I know your name, but who are you? I know where you live, but who are you? I know your number, I can call you and I can text you, but who are you? Yes, but who are you? All right. It says here, listen up. Tell me who your friends are, and I will tell you who you are. A true friend is someone you can rely on when you need it. Right? That's why I call Miss Carol all the time. Miss Carol, I need your help. I'm a little hungry. And Miss Carol says, let's go. There's a restaurant I know. Oh, I'm just kidding, Miss Carol. You see, they treat you with respect, and being around them makes you feel good. They have your best interests at heart because you feel comfortable being yourself around your friends, and you can trust your friends. Now, there's a passage in the Old Testament, in the Proverbs, 18 verse 24, that says this. A man with many companions may come in ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. What does this mean? Meaning, the man of too many friends, meaning to say, so many people that you associate with. However, you have to be careful of choosing your friends. Right? When I was your age, and then I grew up a little bit, and then I grew up a little bit, and I stopped growing. That's why this is it. I was in high school. And then I met these friends, my classmates, and they said, hey, Ron, you know what? Let's skip school today. Let's go to this place that we've been to. It's a nice place, they said. They told me. And I'm telling a true story. They said, okay, what is this place? There's this little table. There's like 6 holes in it. And then there's little like balls in it. And then you play with them. And you're going to have fun. They said, it's a billiard, they call it. All right? Is that what they call it? Billiard? Billiard table? Yeah. I said, let's go. And then let's skip school today and we'll go. And I was like thinking, wow, this is probably good an idea. Besides, the next subject is algebra. I'm having a hard time with algebra. I don't like my teacher. Maybe it's a good time to go. So I went with them. All right? I went with these classmates of mine, and so we played billiard. I said, you have to pay a little amount of money, like about, I don't know. No, it's a little amount of money, not 1 million. It's pesos, so, probably around 75 cents or 1 peso that you pay to play it. And we look at the time, we started around 7 in the morning. It's supposed to be flag ceremony because before you start school, there's flag ceremony, right? And so we skip it. And so after that, one more game. And so we played. And now we're getting excited. And I look at the time, it's about 11:30. Oh boy, I miss history. I said, one more game, one more game. And here I am, I'm winning in the game. I said, maybe let's put a little money in it as we play. I said, are you sure? Yeah, let's put 2 pesos. Whoever wins will collect all those 2 pesos, like several, probably 3 different kind of 2 pesos. So that's 6 pesos. Whoever wins, then he can have that. I said, well, that may be a good idea. So I put my 2 pesos. And I look at the time, it's about 1 p.m. now. Oh boy, it's 1 p.m. Now I miss science. I miss algebra, I miss history, now I miss science. Boy, when I look at the time, it's already 5 o'clock. And I miss English. That's why I'm poor in English. I missed it. The whole day, I did not go to school, but my mom and my dad, they knew that I was at school. But I miss it. But these are my friends. And so I said, it's time to go home. They said, let's go. Now we don't have money. It's all gone. Right? It's all gone. How can I go home? Because I need to ride the jeepney to get back home. They said, oh, we are your friends. We're going to tell you how to do it. You go ride in the jeepney, and then let the jeepney go. And when it's going closer to your street where you live, you say to the driver, stop the car, and then jump. Run away. You don't have to pay them. And one of my friends says, that may be a good idea. And so I said, how do you do that? And they said, just follow us. We'll do it. So there's 4 of us, first street. The guy says, stop the car. And he jumped and ran away. So there's 3 of us now left. Then the next person says, the following street, stop the car. And then he jumped and ran away. He did not pay. And then the next person, I'm the last person. And the next person says, he did the same. And so I was the last person who actually in the jeepney, and I said, have you seen jeepney before? All right. This is like a big car where several people can fit in that car, in that vehicle, and it's a passenger jeep, they call it in the Philippines, right? And so now I am the last boy in that vehicle with several people around, and I don't have money to pay. Now my street is coming close. Closer and closer. And so I prepared a little bit, went back closer to the door, and I said, stop the car. And so it was stopping slowly. And I jumped, but I lost my balance. Fell on the ground, hit my head in the gravel, and then I lost consciousness. I got knocked out. There was blood all over my shirt. And I woke up. I was in the hospital. This is true. Then I had surgery here. That's why I'm forgetful. What is my name again? Thank you, Chael. I can show you later that I have scars in here. That's why I cannot go bald, because people will see that I have scar here. Because I listen to what I call friends. Right? And so that's why it says here that the man of too many friends, that's why you have to choose carefully. will be broken in pieces and come in ruin. But there is a true, loving friend who is reliable and sticks closer than a brother. All right. You ready for one more story? And then we're done? All right, one more story. One Sabbath morning, you ready? This is not a bloody one. One Sabbath morning, the pastor introduced a guest pastor. How many pastors now? 2. The pastor of the church and the guest pastor. There's 2 pastors. So he said, I have a guest pastor. He's going to share whatever was on his heart during this morning worship. And then an elderly guest stepped out to the pulpit and began to speak. And he started sharing the story. He said, a father, his son, and a friend of his son were sailing off the Pacific coast when the fast-approaching storm blocked any attempt to get back to shore. The waves were so high that even though the father was an experienced sailor, he could not keep the boat straight. And 3 of them, the father, his son, and his son's friend, were swept away in the ocean as the boat capsized, broken in pieces. Okay, listen. The old man hesitated for a moment as he was becoming emotional in his story, making eye contact with the 2 boys in front and who seemed interested in the story. And then the old pastor, he continued. You listening? He said this, grabbing a rescue line, like a rope, the father had to make the most agonizing decision of his life. To which boy he would throw the other end of the lifeline. He had only seconds to make his decision. So the father knew that his son was a faithful Adventist Christian, and he also knew that his son's friend was not yet. So the father had to make a decision to which the end of the rope that he will throw it to his son or to his son's friend. Okay, listen. He had only have to choose one person. The agony of the decision could not be matched by the torrent of the waves. And the father yelled to his son, because the son was there and the son's friend is right there, and he was here. He has to make a decision to his son or to his son's friend. Here's what he did. He yelled out to his son and says, I love you, Aiden. That's not him. I'm just making an illustration. I love you, son. And then he threw the lifeline to his son's friend. By this time, the father had pulled the friend back to the capsized boat. Just wait. His son disappeared beneath the raging swells of the ocean and never to be recovered. He was gone. So by this time, the 2 boys sitting up front, straight, anxiously waiting for the next words to come out of the old man's mouth. The father, and he continued, he knew his son would step into eternity with Jesus when he comes back. And he could not bear the thought of his son's friend out there stepping into eternity without Jesus. Therefore, he sacrificed his son to save his son's friend. You see? How great is the love of God that he could do the same for us, he said. And he said, I urge each one of you to accept the offer to rescue you. Take hold of the lifeline he is throwing out to you, the old pastor appealed. With that, the old man sat down. You still listening? He sat down, and the young pastor, delivered a short sermon with an invitation. Within minutes, after the service ended, however, the two boys went to the old man's side and said, "That was a nice story, old man." Politely started one of the boys and said, "But I don't think it was very realistic for a father to give up his son's only life in hopes that the other boy would become a Christian." Isn't that terrible? It's not? I think it's tough. Like, if you're in the situation and then you have to make a decision, is it going to be your mom or your dad that you're going to save? Oh, no, I'm not. Don't answer the question. I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to stimulate your thinking. So if you have a sister and a brother, is it going to be your sister or your brother that you're going to save? Yeah? No, don't answer. Don't answer. I know you have your... all right. Let me continue the story. So here's what happened. Here's what happened. You ready? You ready? Well, the old pastor says, you've got a point there. Glazing down at his old worn Bible, a big smile broadened his narrow face, and he once again looked at the boys and said, "It sure isn't very realistic, is it?" And the old pastor says, "But I am standing here today to tell you that this story is but a glimpse of what it must have been like for God to give up his son for me." You see, boys, the old pastor says, I am that father. And your pastor is my son's friend. I know. You fell off the boat? Not me. But the old pastor, he sacrificed his son so his son's friend will become a Christian. Not only that, he became a pastor. Isn't that wonderful? I think it's you, Ildi, who read this verse. John chapter 15:13. You guys know that verse? You know that verse? It says this: "Greater love has no one than this." For who? For his friends. For who? For his friends. Whose friends? Us, right? So this is Jesus lay down his life because of that great love he has for us, because we are his friends. So boys and girls, brothers and sisters, be careful on how to choose your friend or who you associate with as you grow and become more mature. Because it's very important that your friends knows Jesus as well. Right? Because they will support you, they will pray for you, they will be there for you, and you'll do the same for them. Correct? Because that's what Jesus did for us. So boys and girls, remember, This is about adventurer. We're going to learn about Jesus because he is our best friend. Who is your best friend? Jesus. Who? Jesus. Who is your best friend? Jesus. I'm not convinced. Who is your best friend? Jesus. One more time. Convince me. Jesus. Who is your best friend? Jesus. There you go. I'm convinced.
To reach a friend with a Christ-centered message of hope and wholeness. This has been Anderson SDA Church in Northern California. Thank you for joining us. For more information, visit our website at andersonadventist.org. We look forward to seeing you next time.